Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. Hope everyone is doing well today. How's everyone doing on this Friday morning? Just getting a couple things set up really quick on the side. I've got my son, my inspiration, right next to me. Michael, say hi.
Hi.
And you want to talk briefly? What do you got going on, Michael? Yep. So, tell them about your show real quick.
My show or my
Your YouTube channel.
So if you watch another video that we've already made with Spencer Jones, then you can see.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
All right, you're good. Sorry, a little.
Then I realize you can see a link to a YouTube channel that should be mine. And I haven't done a video and posted one in a long time. I have no idea why. Sometimes I just don't want to.
Tell them what you do on your channel. What's your channel about?
On my channel, I do a lot of Minecraft and Roblox. I have like 2 or 3 videos of non-Minecraft and Roblox stuff, but for the most part, I do Minecraft and Roblox. So yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, go check it out. There's a link right there. It's got a lot of great videos. He'll be doing some more today. Is the plan? Nope. So Michael, thank you for sharing that. He's going to be in and out with us today. A couple other announcements. I'm really excited. Not only as a dad, but also as a coach to see him venturing out and doing his own thing and getting the word out and getting out of his comfort zone. So, awesome job, Michael. High five. So, another announcement that I'm excited about. I'm doing giveaways every Friday live here on the show for the month of July and August. So I've got 4 different books I'll be giving away. So I've got The Power of One More by Ed Milet. Make sure I get it in the screen here. Happy and Strong by Jamie Villalobos. There we go. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And The Greatest Lessons I Learned from Mom by Brian K. Wright. Is the key author. This is a collaboration project. My chapter's in there as well. You'll see me in there. But so I'm giving away one of those books every Friday right here on the show. And what you'll do is you will go to ingersollenterprises.weebly.com/giveaway and put in a nomination, if you will. Someone that you think would do good with the book, someone that book might be a good fit for. It could be yourself, someone else. Put that in the way, and we'll pick a random winner and announce it live Friday morning, and we'll get it to them anywhere across the U.S. So, again, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The Greatest Lessons I Learned from My Mom, key author Brian K. Wright. Happy and Strong by Jamie Villalobos. And The Power of One More by Ed Milet. Now, if many of you don't know, Ed Milet, a lot of you know Ed Milet, but Ed Milet is a personal mentor to Jamie Villalobos. So, if you don't know who Jamie Villalobos is, Ed Milet did the forward in her book. So, there's some good stuff in there. So, again, go to ingersollenterprises.weebly.com/giveaway. That will be up soon, and you can put this in there for a minute, please. And you can, excuse me, nominate someone, nominate as many people. You can fill it out multiple times. you want it for yourself, and also what book you would recommend. No guaranteed on the book, but if you recommend, at least there's a higher possibility of them getting that book if they're selected. So I think looking forward to that. Let's see, a lot of great things coming up. So keep touch on that different website. And this episode, as always, brought to you by Kenny Ingersoll TV. Again, that's Kenny Ingersoll TV. Go check that out, please. We appreciate their sponsorship. Awesome. We are excited to bring on our guest. Do you want to help me bring on our guest? Read that. We got the notes right there. Oh. Right here. You want to read that? No? Okay. We'll get there. All right. So, Carissa, awesome person, personal trainer, fitness health coach, an aspiring author. We'll talk about her book later. She has used her experience in life to transform herself. We're excited to talk about that and hope to help others do the same as they understand that they are capable of change. Now, that's something I really want to focus on because that's something I'm going through myself as well. So please help me bring on Carissa. Hello, Carissa.
Hello, good to see you.
Thank you for being here on the show. It is exciting to have you on here. Now, real quick, we met, and I'll segue into saying yes to life with this. We met through Garrett Goggins. Dr. G is how it's known. Is that correct?
Dr. G, yep.
and I've been on his show. He's been on mine and stuff, and that's how we met. And I just want to bring up the say yes to life, because if I didn't say yes to being on his show or having him or knowing him, I would have been introduced to you, and who knows what will come of this and what other connections we'll bring each other. So I love the examples that show up of saying yes to life. And shout out to Dr. G. Go find him on Facebook. Phenomenal guy to get to know. So if you don't know him, if you don't know who he is, go to that link right there. Go find out all about him.
Absolutely. If you don't know him, you should know him.
Absolutely. So, did a little intro. If you want to take a minute to give us a little more, tell us what you're up to, what you got going on today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, today's a good day. Taught a cycle class this morning. Love to start my day off with some exercise, some inspiration. And on here with you, which is very exciting. I get to meet Michael for the first time, which is extra exciting. Love that you promoted your YouTube channel. Absolutely great. I'm actually
proud daddy moment.
Hey, heck yeah, absolutely. You have to do that. Today's actually podcast day for me. I'm going to be on another one this afternoon, and then back to my day job at the fitness gym. So yeah, lots of fun stuff going on. Lately, just working on my book, my memoir. That's my baby right now, my biggest thing, and yeah.
Awesome. So you got your hands full. Tell us about podcast day.
Yeah, podcast day. So obviously here with you right now. At noon, I have the opportunity to be on with Meg Hepner. She also has a podcast. I believe it's based. It's mostly a women audience, but The Art of Being Human. So we're gonna talk about my story and go into some things about how, when we come to accept that one day we're gonna die, that actually helps us to live our lives more full. So I'm excited to be able to have that conversation with her today as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I love that meme someone put out with Charlie Brown and Snoopy, where Charlie Brown says, you only live once, and Snoopy's like, no, you only die once. You live every day, or something like that.
Absolutely. So many moments to live. We need to take advantage of those.
I love that, and it's such a life-changing way to look at things and such a game changer. And I think that segues right into your intro is understanding that we are capable of change. You know, so many of people I work with and clients I do is, and habits and things society beats dreams out of us. We put our dreams on the shelf. Oh, those aren't for me. We don't understand, or we get the understanding kind of beat out of us, if you will, that we are capable of changing for the better, however we want, whatever that is for us. You have a question for her? Is it about this, or your not your YouTube? Okay, in a minute. He's got a question, so I'm just. We'll get to that in a second. But, okay, go ahead.
I've seen like videos about like someone talking about someone using a Restream.
Yeah.
Just like you are, looks like.
Absolutely, and being open to exploring new possibilities and new technology, huh? Just like we're talking about now, and you know, yeah, having those things ingrained in those beliefs ingrained in us that we can't make change, or that's not for us, so that's for other people. So talk about that for a minute, if you will. How you help people understand they are capable of change, and how you first came to understand that.
Oh, yeah. Well, for myself, it was, I'm not going to lie, it was quite the journey, and a painful one at that, I will say. I think that the most important thing is to really tap into what an individual person's value is, what is worth. What is worth something in their life, what kind of life they want to lead, and really tap into why they want that. We have a lot of goals and dreams, and you tend to hear the same kind of goals over and over again, right? Like, especially when it comes to, say, fitness and health. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. But why? I mean, what would that bring you? Is it just wanting to lose weight, or is it because you want to feel better so that you can spend more time with your grandchildren? You really have to like dig and figure out what is that thing that's going to keep you going towards that goal when it gets hard. Because just saying you want something really isn't, it's really not enough. It takes work, it takes time. And really, we are capable of so much more. And a lot of that also has to do with making those goals realistic so that we can celebrate those successes along the way. So I try to celebrate a lot with my clients the little baby steps, right? Because we have to see that. We have to watch ourselves go up that staircase and see also that setbacks are a way to learn and grow and maybe go about it a different way. So, I mean, I don't know how deeply you want me to go into my way of getting there, but that's definitely how I try to work with others and remind myself as well, that it has to be tied to something that's really in your bones, is like purpose, value. I've got to do this because ...
Exactly, and that's the whole reason I named my show the way I did. Is there's got to be a purpose for something. I want to lose weight. First off, what does that look like for me?
Yep.
And because my definition of releasing weight is different than somebody else's, and it's no longer society's definition. I used to care about what Facebook thought of my goals, but it's not Facebook's goals, it's my goals. So there's got to be the purpose and the passion behind it. Like you said, finding that real why. This, get him in the camera. This is my why. I want to be with him. I want to play with him. I want to go fishing and run around and things like that. So that's just one of the more surface but deep reasons, passions, purposes of behind a lot of my goals.
Well, and I think you bring up this really good point of really defining and being specific of what that goal means. Because yes, weight loss could mean different things. I hear a lot, I want to be healthy. And it's like, well, what exactly does healthy mean? Because it can mean so many different things to so many people. I want to be smarter. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to feel accomplished. Well, but what is that? Like, what does that actually mean for you? So yes, being specific and really defining, like, what is that goal? Otherwise, it's like we're just chasing something, right? And it's like the goal just keeps getting further and further and further and further because we're like, we don't actually know what we're going after here.
Yeah. I'm an analogy guy, and some of the things I've used with people I've talked to is like, I wanna be healthy. Okay, that's like saying I want a car. That's very helpful.
It's very vague.
I want a car. Okay, I'll take you to CarMax. There you go.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I love that we have these ways of defining that goal. Because what happens is if we don't define that goal, say, we say, I just want to be healthy, and then you fail at whatever you think healthy is, you then can start to think and internalize, like, I'm a failure. I'm never going to do this. But it's not because you're a failure. It's actually just because the goal wasn't defined properly. So that has nothing to do with your ability in achieving something. It just has to do with, you might need a little assistance on, let's make this more clear so we know what we're actually going after. So I hate seeing that in people when they think they've failed, but it's just that they haven't been set up correctly. Like, they're not the failure. I think that's important.
Absolutely, and understanding what failure really is. I like a definition I heard from Grant Cardone is you never really fail until you quit.
Right.
If you failed over here, like you said, it's either not set up properly or defined properly, or maybe the route you were taking wasn't quite right.
Absolutely.
But like you mentioned before, it's those learning steps, it's those baby steps, it's those learning curve. Start over again. Analyze it as a learning process and not a failure. Look at
Yep.
it that way, and then find the different route, find the different approach. Maybe you got to take smaller steps instead of medium steps, or whatever. You got to tiptoe through this phase or whatever it is, and or whatever, maybe you got to get in a rowboat and paddle for a few minutes or something. Your journey is unique to you on that path of reaching your goal. you know Even though he's my son, his journey to his goals is going to be different than my journey to my goals.
Mm-hmm.
you know so, and if you look at it correctly, and if you get that society ingrained garbage back out of our heads, you're not a failure unless you just sit on the couch and totally give up and quit. But you're not going to do that.
Well, and I think too, I mean, just touching on that society piece, absolutely. And we only see so much. There's that quote, don't compare your middle to somebody else's end.
Oh yeah.
We kind of gloss over the work that goes into it and kind of glorify this. Oh, well, they were just naturally good at it, or they just happen to be resilient, or this, that, or the other. Those are just qualities I don't have, very fixed mindset. Like, so I must just, this is just who I am and where I'm going to be. But it's important to realize, and I think people know this. They know when they're looking at social media, society, things like that. They know they're not getting the whole picture, but they're constantly feeding into it over and over and over and over, and kind of forget those details.
Yeah, they forget those details and they don't think of those details. Just taking. I can only see this much of the room you're in, and likewise for you. What you don't see is the mess I've got over here,
Right.
or the books I need to pick up over here, or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Michael. And
Thanks, Michael.
I love it.
But that's true, and I think that's why it's so important for us, as coaches or just general people in society, to be honest and authentic with their lives and what they bring to the table. I don't think that it's fair to really show this like flawless version of yourself. Not if you really want to connect with people.
Correct, because they want someone who's been there, done that. And um, again, another analogy: painting your house. When the finished product is done, it looks beautiful. But what you don't see is all the paint splattered all over your face and your clothes, and your hands are covered in paint, and you spilled a bucket on the ladder over here or whatever.
Oh yeah. That's so true. That actually reminds me of one time I was painting a wall in my garage, and I had taped off the corners, right? Well, and I used painter's tape, I did what I was supposed to do. And I paint this wall, it's beautiful. And then I go to peel the paint off or the tape off, and it starts to peel off the paint on the other walls. And I'm like, oh no. And so I'm like frantically like, it looked so good, but now it's pulling off the paint. And it was actually pulling off, it was in the garage. So it was like different material. So it wasn't just pulling off the paint from the other walls. It was like pulling out like the underneath. It was like a total mess. And I'm like, darn it. But those are just examples of like, I had to peel it off, go back and redo the corners, and then it looked really good.
And that's a prime example. Sometimes we have to 2 steps back to 3 steps forward or whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
Or again, you didn't look at it as a failure. It wasn't exactly ideal, but it
was
wasn't
not ideal. I learned, right? I learned from that experience. So we're going to go with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what got you into coaching? I think we kind of know the part of the answer, but what got you into coaching and becoming a personal trainer in the first place?
Well, so with training and fitness, I've always really loved fitness. I mean, that's something that we exercised a lot. We did sports growing up. My dad was an avid cyclist. So just had a lot of that. We were required to go outside so many hours a day growing up, which I feel like we should still be doing. But that is another side of things. But yeah, so I've always just loved being active. And a couple of years ago, I decided, let's go to school for fitness. I had started to lift weights, which I was always like very cardio heavy, but I started to lift weights. And the thing about weightlifting is you start to see your gains really quickly. So maybe you start with 5 pounds and you get up to 10 and you just feel yourself getting stronger. And it's not always aesthetic. You can't always see that you're getting stronger, but you can feel it when you pick up those muscles those weights. That for me became kind of addicting. Like, wow, I feel stronger and stronger and stronger. And that strength and that confidence took me to new levels in other areas of my life as well. I'm like, well, if I can grow here with these consistent things, like what can I do in every part of my life? So let's give it a shot. So I think that for me, that was the first time that I was like, all right, we can get stronger. This is how we do it. And when it comes to health and fitness, the reason I picked that field to start was because so many people, I mean, just think about it in society, like so many people are overweight. So many people have chronic diseases that can be either made better or prevented by getting the correct physical activity, eating correctly, all these things. So really just in the way that we live, we can change so many of these things. And feeling healthy and feeling good creates an individual that contributes to society in a better way. So ultimately, that's what got me into fitness. As I worked along that, I went for the health coaching certification, which was great. I mean, which is what we've kind of already talked about, making those goals, defining them, figuring out why we want them. So yeah, I think that's kind of the gist of what got me to this point. So I'm taking all of that and really incorporating it into my book, which is actually a memoir about some trauma I experienced in the first like 20 something years of my life, and how I use that to change and grow. Because I look at my life and I think, I mean, if I can do it, and I sat through all of this, and I look at other people and I hear their stories, and I'm like, and they can do it, and they can do it, and they can do it. I just look at everyone and I'm like, dude, if we can do this, so can you. And I want to bring you with me, and I want to show you how. Because like you said, the Snoopy, was it Snoopy that said you live every moment? It's so true. So I want to give that gift to other people because it was something that I was given, and I want to share.
I am going to just pull that up really quick because I think it's. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Sorry.
No problem. We love props.
So let me.
Oh, we've got a note. Hi, Dad.
Yep, that's my son's screen name. So that's his YouTube channel and his screen name. So, hi, sweet boy. But
There it is.
there it is. So, just little things like that are huge difference things. And, you brought up a minute ago if I'm just getting my screens back. If I can do it, you can do it, sort of thing. And that's something that I've struggled with for a while because it's so easy to, well, they can, so I must not be able to, or maybe I'm not good enough, or why do they get it and not me, kind of thing. And it's that's something else that's been ingrained in and stuff, and it's hard to recognize that you're doing that in the moment, because it's so easy to go into that pity party sort of thing, well, why do they get it and I can't, kind of thing. And understanding where that's coming from and the lack mindset that it's coming from, instead of the abundance of what you said, if I can do it, they can. Or if you see something on Instagram or whatever, if they can achieve that, I certainly can too. Because just because they're hitting their level of success does not take away from mine at all. There's
Absolutely.
plenty of that. And it's so, so awesome when you recognize and understand that, and you are able to catch yourself and turn that around. It's like someone putting on glasses, so to speak. It's like, whoa. So
It's about perspective, right? Well, and I love that you mentioned that. So I remember this video, and it's about neural pathways. And when you do something repeatedly, it creates this pathway in your brain. And when you decide to react differently, another pathway starts to develop. And it's almost like you have this battle going on. You have a stimulus and then you have a response. And it's like, is it going to go down the really deeply crevice pathway that I've always gone down? Or is it going to go down this new one? The more you use that new pathway, the more deep it gets, right? And then the other one starts to do, 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 do. So the more that you can recognize, like you've said, when you're going into that fixed mindset mode, the more you can catch it and change it. But if you don't do the work to figure out when it's happening, sorry, like you got to do the work, but I promise it's worth it.
absolutely. And sometimes the hardest part of that work is the acknowledgement of it. Accepting that way of thinking is maybe not serving you the best anymore.
Right.
It's just the simple recognition or whatever. It's like that other meme where the the dog is in the room and it's on fire. He's like, I'm fine, I'm good. And he's got his drink in his hand and stuff.
Oh no. Yeah, well, and sometimes we have those moments, and it really, I mean, it's okay. We just need to recognize them, and it takes practice to take accountability for those things and say, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best, and it's okay. We don't need to beat ourselves up about it. We're just going to recognize it and we're going to do better.
Absolutely. I love how you brought that up. And I love how you talked about your book. And that's something I'm working on myself. And I find it fun and fascinating, because you it opens up a new channel for you to express yourself in, and you're giving yourself permission to do that. And so I love that. So um when will this be out? When can people go get it? Where can they find it?
Well, so I have a couple things happening. I was able to put a summary of my book. It was a collaboration project that hopefully will be coming out in the next couple months. That's Dose of Hope. And that is, I believe it's going to be a 12-volume series. I'm in volume 6. So that's going to be, there's 50 authors per volume. So that was really fun. That's something I just submitted that will be coming out. And that's from the Keep Smiling movement, which is really fun. So that's going to be like my first published piece, which I'm super stoked about, a chapter in there. But from there, that's obviously going to go to my bigger book. My hope is it'll be out by the end of next year. So what are we, 2022? So 2023, I have started my Instagram where I'm going to start to put some quotes on there, some ideas, to do some videos to really tell people what that's about and get some interaction on there, hopefully for other people to share their stories as well, because that's really what this is for. So yeah, just working hard at that. It's going to be, I am so excited, just like beyond excited to be able to share this. And yeah.
As you should be. And it's such a fun journey,
Absolutely.
and at least for me, doing it the first time, it's like a new riding a new ride at the amusement park. You're not sure if you're gonna like it or how it's gonna end up, but then afterwards you're like, all right, let's go again, let's go again, let's go again.
Yes, and it's work. It's definitely work. But so Dr. G, he has been my coach through this whole process, and he's actually the one who we met when I first spoke about my experience on stage. And he came up to me afterward and he was like, you have to write a book. And I'm like, well, I've been thinking about it. But he's like, no, write that book. And I was like, okay. So it's been really great. But yeah, so that my book will be called Garden on a Grave. It'll be a memoir. And I have a million book ideas coming to my mind as I'm writing this one. So it'll be the first of many. Very excited to get it out there.
Sounds like we need to collaborate on some more things.
Absolutely.
Coming soon, collaboration book from Carissa and Kenny.
I love it. I love this idea.
Awesome. That is so awesome, and I'm excited for it when it comes out in 2023. So we'll have to keep tabs and keep posted, and we're gonna have you come back on when it's live, and you can talk about it, and we'll go through it and all that fun stuff.
Hold me accountable.
That's right. Public on YouTube and Facebook right now.
Yep. 23 friends.
that segues into another nerve-wracking thing, is saying yes to life, and you get those accountability partners, and that's something that scares me but helps me about doing the show. Is it's live, so it's like, oh crap, I've said it, so now I've got to make good on it, and it scares the heck out of me. I'm like, maybe I don't want to do the show that bad, but like, no, I want to get this done. It's going to help me grow. It's going to help someone else grow. So
it's very brave, I believe. And you know, it's interesting just on your, you know, your passion, purpose, and possibilities title. When I really decided like you have to write this book, I kid you not. Anytime I'm like, oh, it's hard, or oh, it's this or that or the other, there is this fire inside of me that just says, you will write this book. You have to write this book. This is your purpose. You will get your story out there. And to be honest, I never felt this way in my life. And my dad was one who, when we were younger, find your purpose, find your purpose. What's your purpose? Find your purpose. And me and my brother were like, what on earth does that even mean? Like, my dad was an astrophysicist. I swear he knew what he wanted to be when he came out of the womb. Like, it was just like ingrained, and he just knew, and he went and succeeded, and boom. And then he's looking at his children like, all right, guys, like, let's do this. And it took me a lot of time and a lot of life and a lot of career changes and all this stuff to come to this point where I'm just like, holy crap, this feels amazing to just have this thing that is like, you have to. Your life depends on this thing. If I die without doing this, I will be sad. Like, so that's what like this passion and purpose has been for me, just discovering like, whoa, I think this is what my dad meant. So that's really neat.
Yeah, and that's where the possibilities, exploring those possibilities, and again going back to 20 to your chapter 5 to someone's chapter 20, because it took a while and many ventures for me to find my passion, my purpose, and I have to remind myself as a dad to not push my son, in the wrong way. I was like, okay, what is it? And I have to remind myself it took me 30 years to find mine. So it might take him a minute, if not great, but it might take him a minute. So I've got to, everybody's journey is different, like we talked about before. And that's okay.
100%.
My passion will still be just as effective, as impactful as whether I found it at 30 or 13. Right. I'm still going to serve my purpose as long as I'm following it and getting out of my comfort zone and doing it. Letting that fire behind me kick me in the butt and write the book, do the show, all that fun stuff.
Well, it's so true, because I mean, if you don't go out and try different things, you're not going to figure out, okay, I thought I wanted to do that, but you know what? It's really not my thing. I think we oftentimes sit stagnant or in fear or something like that. When just try it. If you don't like it, course correct. All good. Get out there, get in the habit of being uncomfortable, because you're going to get to that thing that lights your soul on fire.
Absolutely. And I like the Thomas Edison thing, because I've had the imposter syndrome and I've tried these 10 things and they didn't work out or whatever. What if I fail at this one? Well, what if Thomas Edison quit trying the light bulb at number 75 or whatever, our rooms would be dark right now.
Yeah. It's true.
So to your point, keep trying, just fine tune, course correct. You'll figure it out at the right time, and your message will be where it needs to be at the right time. So I love that.
And everyone has, their different things. I think there's a quote, something like, if you want to change the world, find the thing that makes you come alive and go do it. And that thing is going to be different for everybody. But that's the point. It's supposed to be different for everybody because there's so many elements of life in the world. So we would all just do the things that we're passionate about, not judging the others about how they are. And even when it comes to coaching, who cares? Like, you're a different coach than this coach, because you're all going to touch different people in different ways. And that's amazing.
Yeah. And And just like everything else, just like with books, there's 10 million books already written, and the same words have all been used 18 million times. But
Yes.
your message, the way you structure it, the place it's coming from, it needs to be shared still. It's going to impact, even if it impacts one, it's worth it. Write the dang book.
And my whole thing behind my book is I want people to know that their stories matter. And that's why I'm sharing mine. Everybody's story, absolutely. Everyone should write a dang book, in my opinion. Because they do. They matter. Every single little story matters.
Absolutely. And your book can be 3 pages or 300 pages. Or you could write both. You could write a 3-page book or a 300-page book, and write multiple books. I love it, and you'll find different ventures, and it'll lead you down different pathways. 5 years ago, I had no idea. I didn't even think about doing this podcast. I didn't even think about writing my books. I wouldn't have met the people I've met. I wouldn't have learned the things I've learned or done the things I've done, or on and on and on, if I didn't take that first step, if I didn't try it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Carissa, it has been awesome having you on the show. I've loved it. Everyone who's on here, go find her, go connect with her. Phenomenal person. Any last
fun today
piece of advice or things you would give before we end?
A thought that comes to my mind is presence. I think one of the best ways that we can live each moment to the fullest is to be present in each moment as much as possible. And I know that sometimes that takes work, and sometimes we just need to chill and not really think. But I think presence is, really being there with people, listening when people are talking, enjoying each moment. At the end of the day, I think your day feels a lot more fulfilled. So just being where you are, whatever that means, if it's happy, if it's sad, feeling what you need to feel, and moving forward.
I love that, especially ending on that last note, moving forward. And I love how you put whatever it means for you. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for being here. Everyone who's watching live or on the replay, thank you for watching. Again, please reach out to Carissa. Go reach out to Garrett. Phenomenal people.
And don't forget about Michael.
Absolutely. Thank you. He's got some very cool things going on there. I'm excited for him. I'm waiting for and expecting him to surpass me 100-fold. So I want him to go far. I want him to shoot past me like tomorrow. So again, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Remember to live your passion, fulfill your purpose, and explore those possibilities.